Well, good morning, second graders. Yes. Good morning, Mrs. Grant.
Good morning.
You know what it just dawned on me?
What?
It's March.
It is March. That is a lot of alliteration there. Monday, March 1st, math.
Yeah. Man, lots of M's.
Yeah.
March is a good month.
It is.
Got a good feeling about March.
Me too.
Flowers are blooming.
Yes, I'm loving this nicer weather for sure.
Me too. All right. Well, we are doing math, and we're going to be talking about telling time. This is our second week on telling time, and this is where things start to pick up the pace a little bit. They get a little bit trickier. Last week we were talking about the big hand and the little hand. We were talking about hours and minutes. We were talking about the face on the clock and what all of those numbers represent. We even learned how to tell time to the nearest 5 minutes.
Yes.
But today we are going to be learning how people tell time a little bit easier and some phrases that they use that go along with it. For example, maybe you've heard someone say something like quarter past or half past the hour. And maybe you've been wondering what that means. Well, today we're going to be practicing. So I am going to draw my favorite food. Do you remember what my favorite food is?
Pizza.
It's pizza. So I'm going to draw a big pizza pie, New York style thin crust.
I'm gonna look at it from over
Okay,
here. That
all
looks
right.
delicious.
And I am going to take my pizza pie and I want to share it with some of my friends. So I'm going to draw the pizza in half. That's not perfect, okay? But would you agree that this is one half of the pizza and this is another half?
I would agree, yeah.
All right, so let's say that I put a 12 at the top like a clock and I put a 6 at the bottom. Well, believe it or not, if the minute hand is pointing to the bottom of the clock at the 6, that means half of an hour has passed.
Oh.
So that would be half past.
Okay.
Now, let's just say we have a 1 and the hour hand is here, okay?
Okay.
We would say on a clock, well, this would be 1:30, or we could call it half past 1.
Oh.
So we can have half past 2, we can have half past 7, half past 9. Anytime that minute hand is on the 6, we have gone half past any hour.
Okay.
Now let's go back to my pizza, all right?
Okay.
I don't want to confuse anyone. You're probably getting hungry. I've got more friends coming to this pizza party. So I'm going to draw another line in my pizza, and this time I have broken it into 4 equal sections. Now, let's go back a couple weeks. Remember when we were talking about money?
I do.
Do you remember how we could break $1 into just 4 coins?
4 quarters.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, a quarter isn't just a coin. A quarter is actually a piece of something, a section of something. A quarter means 1 out of 4 even sections.
Oh.
So when I break my pizza into 4 sections, and let's say that I wanted to eat one of these pieces, okay? That means I'd be in 1/4 of the pizza.
Oh.
Now, these second graders are probably wondering, why in the world are we talking about pizza?
Mm-hmm.
Well, if you remember when I put numbers on my pizza to make it look like a clock, that represents some of the times that we're going to see on here. For example, I'm noticing a phrase here on number 3 that says 5:15. Well, a quarter out of an hour is actually equal to 15 minutes.
Okay.
Do you remember where 15 minutes is on the clock?
Well, I know that if I skip count by 5s, and if 1 is 5 minutes past, 2 is 10 minutes past, 3 is 15 minutes past.
Exactly. So anytime the big long minute hand is pointing at the 3, we have gone quarter past. We have gone 15 minutes past an hour. Now remember, if the 6 was down here and that minute hand was here, do you remember what we say?
Half past.
We say half past an hour.
Yeah.
Now, if I keep going, I'm going to add a 7, I'm going to add an 8, and I'm going to add a 9. Let's say that we've already done half past, and now I want 3 sections.
Oh.
I want 3 pieces of pizza, or my minute hand has gone almost all the way around the clock, but it stopped at the 9.
Well, I do know that if I were to skip count by 5s, that would be 45 minutes after the hour.
It would.
But how does that relate to a quarter?
Well, this one is tricky.
Yeah.
So look at how much pizza is left.
There's only one section left.
Mm-hmm.
1/4 of the pizza left.
Exactly. There's 1/4 of the pizza left. So now we only have 1/4 the next hour. So when we take a look at our worksheet today, I want you to think about breaking your clock into 4 even sections called quarters. And I want you to try to remember this pizza or this clock as we talk to you about the different phrases and how to figure them out on the worksheet. All right, so I'm actually going to erase this, Mrs.
Okay.
Grant. And hopefully we can talk about these sections of the pizza a little bit more. Would you mind zooming in nice and big, and we'll go down to, we'll start on that first row, number 1,
Here?
2, and 3. You got it.
Okay.
All right. So let's take a look. Our directions today say that we need to draw the minute hand, okay? We already have our hour hand. We need to just draw the minute hand to show what the time is on the clock. And then we're gonna write the clock, or write the time on the digital clock down below. Okay, so number 1, what is it asking us to write?
So it says 15 minutes after 1.
All right. Well, my hour hand for the 1 is already here.
Okay.
We just need to figure out where does that minute hand need to be drawn to represent 15 minutes.
Okay, well, I remember that when I do minutes, I skip count by 5s. So if this is 5, this is 10, this is 15, it needs to be pointed at the 3. And it has to be longer than the hour hand.
Mhm.
So I'm going to make it go past the dotted line.
Very nice. So 15 minutes after 1, another way that we can say that is 1:15. And we're going to write that on our digital clock.
Oh, okay. 1 for the hour, our colon, and then 15 for the minute. Is there a way to say that using the word quarter?
You can. Just like when I draw the pizza, when we have only one section of the pizza gone, when our minute hand has only moved 1/4 of the clock around, we would call that quarter after 1.
Oh,
1/4, 1/4 of the clock.
Mm-hmm. Quarter
Has
after
passed.
or quarter past?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So,
All right, let's take a look at number 2. This is new word, so we're going to take it slow. This one says 9:30.
okay.
Okay, half means half of 1 hour.
Okay.
Well, if an hour is 60 minutes, half of an hour would be 30 minutes.
And I remember when you drew that line straight down the clock to split, or straight down the pizza to split it in half, that reminds me where that minute hand should go.
You got it. So again, if we were to count by 5s, it would be 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. So that minute hand is going to go straight down, pointing to the 6. So 9:30 is the same thing as 9:30. Half of an hour has gone by. All right.
Nice.
All right, let's see if we can do number 3, and then maybe you want to see if there's anything tricky on the bottom there. Number 3 says 5:15. Okay, well, a quarter doesn't mean 25 cents. A quarter means just 1/4 of an hour. So if half of 1 hour is 30 minutes, a fourth of an hour would be 15 minutes. It's one section. Okay, so quarter past really means 15 minutes past.
Yeah.
5. Okay. Well, 15 minutes, I remember when you did it, is on the 3. So I need to draw my minute hand pointing at the 3. So 5:15 is the same thing as 5:15. Whew.
As I'm looking down here, I see 10:15. That's just like number 3.
Mm-hmm.
Over here, I see 7:30. That's just like number 2.
Mm-hmm.
The only one that's different is number 5. 40 minutes after 3. And they've already drawn our hour hand. It looks like it's pointing at the 4, but we know that until it goes after the 4, it's still 3 o'clock.
Exactly.
So they already did the hour hand. The minute hand is needing to be pointed at the 40. And if we're skip counting by 5s, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40 is at the 8. I think they can finish the rest of that on their own.
I think so. Why don't we take a look and see what's on the bottom in the next page, just
All right.
to make sure.
Okay, we've got some 15 minutes after, some 25 minutes after, quarter past,
Okay.
45 minutes after, 30 minutes after. All of these are quarter past. There's nothing quarter till.
Good.
So,
All
what
right.
if we just do one more? Just a
All right.
random one.
Why don't we do number 15 just
Okay.
to end your page on a high note? All right. I know that we've seen this already, but quarter past, I just keep thinking about George Washington.
It's not 25.
It is not 25
No.
cents. A quarter just means 1/4 of something. So it's just like if I broke this clock up into 4 even sections.
Mm-hmm.
Quarter past means only this section right here. That means the minute hand has to be pointing at the 3.
Mm-hmm.
So quarter past 10 really means 10:15.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
And it's not 10:03.
No.
It's 10:15. That is
Yeah.
something that a lot of second graders struggle with, is converting
Mm-hmm.
those numbers into minutes when you don't actually see the number 15 on your clock. That is just going to take practice over and over and over again.
Yep, and that's
Yeah.
why we start. That's why we get
Mhm.
started in second grade,
Yeah.
so that you can tell time, especially as you get into third and
Yep.
fourth and fifth grade. In fact, they'll probably tell time for the rest of their lives.
Definitely. I would recommend, hopefully you guys hung on to that paper clock that we gave you guys in last week's folder. I would recommend just practicing with a relative at home, whoever you can, quarter past, half past, those kinds of things, and using your practice
Yeah.
clock on that, because that's a way you're going to get to be an expert at it, is
Yeah.
more than just doing these 12 problems or whatever on the worksheet, actually physically using that clock and practicing that way.
Because it takes time.
It takes time to learn about time. Yeah.
All right, just keep practicing. You got it.